Good morning and welcome to another episode of the Ultimate 216 Show. And before we get into it, it's a good time to let you know that the Ultimate 216 Show is brought to you by Living for We. Catch season 2 of the Living for We Keep Your Head Up podcast, hosted by Marlene Harris Taylor and Maisha Watkins every other Tuesday, presented by Idea Stream Public Media. Each episode takes you deep into the real life struggles of gun violence in the communities of color, stories that don't always make that headlines. They dropped a brand new episode yesterday titled Feared and Revered. So make sure you all go check that out. I'm Earl of Pearl. That's Cecil Shorts, man. Y'all know the vibes. If you woke up, you already won. Good morning, brother. How are you today? How's the family?
Fam is good. Excited about the Cavs tonight. Can't wait to see these guys get after it, but everything's good, man. How about you?
I'm good, man. I can't wait. I'll be in the building for game 2. Guardians look like they about to sweep the Yankees.
Get them
So
out of here. Get them
day
out of
before the
here.
NFL draft, man. It's a lot going on this morning, man. Later on in the show, me and Cecil actually combined on a 5-leg parlay. So we're gonna present that to you courtesy of FanDuel later on. And then we're gonna have a conversation of perception versus reality when it comes to Andrew Berry and one Kevin Stefanski. But we get started with our final mock drafts a day before the NFL draft. Me,
Mhm.
Cecil, and Mikey McNuggets actually dropped his final mock draft for us to take a look at. So we're going to share ours. We're going to get some comments and thoughts and opinions from you all in the audience, and just have a conversation of why we went the direction that we did. If you got any thoughts, if you got any guys that you all have played around with the mock draft simulator and somebody that really stuck out to you, drop that in the comments, man. Best comments get read on screen. Let's get started. We're going to start with McNuggets.
Okay.
So, talk to Mike this morning as we was preparing for the flagship show. Don't forget to subscribe to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Catch the flagship show at 11 o'clock a.m. Today's lineup is Adam Nabua, Dustin Fox, and yours truly. So I see y'all again at about 11 o'clock. But this is what Mike had, right? So this was Mike's mock draft. Let's take a look at it, right? No surprises with pick number 2, Travis Hunter. He went Jalen Milroe with pick 33. That was pretty interesting to me. Caleb Johnson, Harold Fanning Jr., Jordan Phillips, Jalen Travis, the tackle from Iowa State, which I like. Malachi Moore, Kobe King, the running back from Virginia Tech, and edge rusher from Syracuse. Is there anything that you like? Is there anything that stands out? Is there anything that makes you look at McNuggets and say, man, you crazy?
Do you see that F by Jalen Milroe?
Yeah, yeah.
um, I think I let's start with Jalen. I love what he can do. And again,
Mhm.
I think he can be a really good player, but it's about him being in the right system, with the right team, and with patience, right? I just don't know if this is the right team or this is the right team that will have patience with a Jalen Milroe and continue to develop him, right? He can throw the deep ball. He can run his butt off, but can he go through his progression? Can he be accurate with the intermediate to short throws consistently, right? So to me, that one I'm like second round, that's tough. I get it. And a couple of different mocks I had him to. I was battling. I was going back and forth, back and forth. But I feel like there's a better fit at quarterback than Jalen. I love Caleb. I love Harold Fannin from BG. He, I think, is going to be a steal. I think he has some Antonio Gates in him. I think he can be a really, really good pass catcher. And then you added depth at important positions. You had depth at tackle, safety, linebacker. I love what I see in the rest of the draft. It's just
Mhm.
that Milroe pick is tough for me to buy in.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happened in real life tomorrow night, right? Because it's a situation to where you might have 2 quarterbacks going the first round, you might have 4 going the first round. And I've
Yeah.
noticed that as we, got further along in this process, Jalen Milroe name is starting to ring out a little bit more than what it was at the beginning. The athleticism, the speed, the intelligence, the football IQ. The knocks on him is the pass accuracy and not being able to process well, and that's a huge problem to me when you get to the next level. The Browns offensive coordinator, Tommy Reese, he had some success with him when he was with him in Alabama. But, it's one of those situations. I don't necessarily think he is the best fit for the Cleveland Browns immediately. I do think he has the highest ceiling and he
Mm.
has raw talent, right? He's like when you hear the Anthony Richardson comparisons, that's a little scary. You know what I mean? Because Anthony Richardson, again, a guy that was a lot of raw talent, very athletic, but to this point, it hasn't really worked out for him. So, you spoke to maybe about a month and a half ago about building a right quarterback room specifically in Cleveland, right? Knowing the history of the Browns in this position, you got a veteran in there in Joe Flacco. Whether he wants to be a mentor or not is to be determined. You got a guy in there in Kenny Pickett who did not have success as a rookie quarterback, has not had success since he's been on this rookie contract. He's been on a couple teams since then. So, this is a situation. Is this room built up the right way for Jalen Milroe? And that's something that we're going to have to talk more about. Let's take a look at Cecil Shorts' mock draft. Now, before
Uh-oh.
Mike's draft was a B plus grade, and it finished in the top 43% of all of the PFF simulated mock draft. So y'all drop y'all comments. Y'all let us know what y'all thought of Mikey McNuggets. Let's move on to yours, bro. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you got going on here. You took Travis Hunter, of course. Josh Connerly Jr., Dylan Sampson. You also took Harold Fanning Jr. You got Tyler Shook, Malachi Moore, Kobe King, Riley Mills, Jimmy Horn Jr. I like that. I like that. And
Mm-hmm.
Ollie Gordon the second, running back out of Oklahoma State. Okay. So elaborate, man. What Travis Hunter is a given. I see you went tackle, running back, tight end. Talk to me about that.
I'm just thinking offensively. Stefanski is supposed to be the genius, right? He's supposed to be the
Mhm.
guy that gets things rolling on the offensive ball. So, and you know how it goes. Certain guys fall in the draft. So when Josh failed to me, and tackle is a need, and he can be anywhere from the end of the first to the early second. I'm like, oh, I got to take Josh from Oregon. He only gave up 2 sacks in his entire career at Oregon. Strong physical guy. So I'm like, all right, I'll go there. And then thinking Dylan Sampson, good fit. You need our running backs, right? I also went running back super late with Ollie Gordon. Ollie Gordon was extremely productive his junior year. His junior year, he went nuts. I mean, 17, 1,800 yards. And then this year, not sure what happened, what went on, but he is a load of talent. So if you can get it, I think to me, him and Jimmy Horn might be some steals that can do some things later. Um, but I talked about how much I love Harold Fannin. And then to me, the
Mhm.
biggest thing is you bring in Joe Flacco. When I look at Tyler Shuck and what he brings to the table, he looks to me like a Joe Flacco type quarterback. So who better to fit in that room with Joe Flacco, with Kenny Pickett, than a Tyler Shuck that understands the game, played a lot of football, a lot of reps under his belt. He's big and strong like a Joe Flacco was. He looks like an AFC North type of quarterback. He's just big. He can throw the ball. He can make any throw. He's been up and down draft boards as well. I've seen him in the first round. I've seen him in the fourth round. So it just depends on where teams have him on the board. But he is somebody I think in the fourth round could be a really, really good asset to the team. And there's no pressure. A fourth round guy, there's no pressure for him to be the starter right away. When he's ready, he can be the guy. If he's not ready, cool. You roll with Flacco or Pickett, whatever the case may be, and kind of go from there.
The injury history, the
Mm.
age, and the fact that we've traveled this road before is what turns me off from Tyler Shook. And I get it. He ain't have a damn thing to do with Brandon Wheaton, but it's like the Browns have tried this before and it didn't work out. Now this situation is different. Brandon was a first round pick, and I knew it was bad when he got trapped up under the flag during the national anthem week 1. That was a sign that this thing was to fail. Now in this case, you're right. There's no pressure on him to play. You sit back and you learn. You don't know who the starting quarterback is going to be. It could be Flacco, could be Kenny Pickett, but I think in any scenario, he's not going to be put in a situation unless injuries happen to where he has to play year 1. I just look at this kid and I see a career backup. I don't see a
Mm.
guy who can really, really have a true impact on solving the Browns' overall quarterback issues. So for me, when I look at Tyler, I'm not looking at a guy that is going to make much noise. I think he's a guy that you can have on a rookie contract that can be in the quarterback room as a second or third string quarterback long term. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all because you need solid backup quarterbacks in this league, especially knowing that players get hurt all the time. So one last look at Cecil's mock draft. My man got a B plus. His was in the top 38% of the PFF simulated mock drafts. He went Travis Hunter, Connery Jr. from Oregon, Dylan Sampson, Harold Fanning Jr., Tyler Shook, Malachi Moore, Kobe King, Riley Mills, Jimmy Horn Jr., Ali Gordon II. Now, I see Fanning Jr. and I see Kobe King and you and Mike's mock draft. I think we all pretty much got the same player. We're going to take a look at mine's now, man. Now, y'all don't laugh, don't laugh, don't laugh. This is what I did. I felt like, first of all, if the draft fall like this, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. But I went Travis. I went Josh Connery Jr. as well. I picked 33. I took Caleb Johnson at 67. Jalen Milroe with my second, third round pick. I went Elijah Roberts, the edge rusher from SMU. I too went Kobe King. I went 2 picks higher. Cecil, a guy we talked about last week, Keandre Lambert Smith. I took him in the 6th round. I went ahead and doubled up on the quarterback position, taking Quinn Ewers. I took the corner Denzel Burke from the Ohio State University. I know Tyvis Powell loved that. And then I took Luke Leitchie. Really don't know too much about him. All I know is the grooming process at Iowa when it comes to the tight end position. I can trust that. They know what they're doing when they come to grooming tight ends. We know the Browns love tight ends, and they're going to be in need for another one. So when I look at my mock draft, man, I thought it made sense to go tackle at with my second round pick. Conley is a guy that's projected to go anywhere from 24 to 34. So, you possibly getting a guy with a first round grade at the top of the second round. I think Caleb Johnson, of all the running backs that we've discussed, to me, he fits the Cleveland Browns system the best. Jalen Milroe, listen, we need a quarterback. We have to address the quarterback position. If the Browns go back to any form of a Kevin Stefanski offense where it seemed like, the zone blocking scheme, the power run, and just being a run first team, Jalen Milroe would make sense with a Caleb Johnson. Hopefully you re-sign a Nick Chubb, and Tommy Reese and Billy Musgrave can work with him. Like I said, Elijah Roberts, you need somebody to go opposite of Myles Garrett, Kobe King, another guy in the linebacker room. Keandre Lambert Smith, a guy me and you talked about, played in the Big Ten, transfer, played in the SEC. Quinn Ewers, we know about him, Burke and Lacey. So I ask you, what about my mock draft stood out to you?
Jalen in the 3rd round at 94. I like that better than at 33 because again, there's no pressure on him to. When you draft a guy in the top 45, top 50, you expect them to be an impact on day one at
Mhm.
some type of way. You expect them to make an impact some type of way during the season. At 94, I'll even say like 100 on down. Okay, if they make impact, great. If they don't, cool. So at 94, it's more reasonable. Like there's no pressure on him to be that guy right away. When he's ready, you can put him in there. And they, like you mentioned, Tommy Reese in there. It's interesting though. You went Quinn Ewers. Why?
I like Quinn's upside. I like his potential. He's a dude that, when he started off at Ohio State, I thought he was going to have an opportunity to play and make some noise. He transferred to Texas and, played decent. I thought he should have went back to school, but I just think that he's a quarterback that can play some football, that needs some grooming. And, he's a guy that can, probably be an average NFL starter or a pretty damn good backup quarterback. And when you're in the Cleveland Browns situation, there's so many question marks about the raw talent of Jalen Milroe, just like it is of Quinn Ewers. The Cleveland Browns need a quarterback. And if you could fill up the room with a bunch of guys and just kind of, crap shoot it and see what you come out with, then cool. We've seen other situations like in Washington in years past with Robert Griffin and Kirk Cousins, more recently with Trey Lance and Brock Purdy. So to me, when that at that pick at that round, I just kind of went best player available and understanding what the Cleveland Browns quarterback situation currently is.
When you draft in your mind, are you just thinking in general, right? What's your thought? Is it best player available or is it team need? Like what
It's
do you
team
think?
need, team
Mm.
priority, probably for the first 4 or 5 picks. And then as we get later on in the draft, I think I'm going best player available. And I'm probably trying to match that up with some guys that's going to be on expiring contracts either at the end of this season or next season. So
That makes sense.
yeah, so
Quinn's interesting because I think Quinn could be. I agree with the upside. I just
mhm.
don't know from what I've seen at UT. I don't know if he's fully developed yet, right? And I think he was kind of forced to come out this year because Arch.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't know behind the scenes, but I'm pretty sure Arch is going to be the guy by his junior year. Like by this year, it's like all right, he in sat twice. It's time for him to take over.
Big facts, man. So y'all check out all three of those mock drafts, man. And y'all drop the comments. Let us know what y'all think. Let us know who you would draft in those situations. Don't forget to like and subscribe as we move on. Coming up next is a conversation about Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski. But first, we hear from Buckeye State Credit Union. Today's episode is brought to you by Buckeye State Credit Union. If you're unfamiliar with them, let me introduce you to the financial friend you didn't know you needed until right now. Buckeye State Credit Union is a local brand that offers a wide range of products from saving accounts to mortgages and auto loans. They have some of the lowest rates around and are committed to serving Northeast Ohio. The Cleveland location is in Shaker Heights, but there are 5 brick and mortar locations across the state. Basically, Buckeye State Credit Union is here to help make your life easier. They make banking more convenient, always putting the customer first so you leave feeling cared for, valued, and respected. A Buckeye State Credit Union, our core values are what we set us apart, and that's connect, simplify, and adapt. These values make Buckeye State Credit Union the right choice for you. For more information, head to buckeye.com for more information. That's Buckeye State Credit Union, your money simplified. So there's been a lot of talk about Andrew Berry, Kevin Stefanski, and this season pretty much a make or break season for them. Um, Before I even get into that, I think it's kind of crazy that to this day, we still don't know the details of those contract extensions. We don't know how many years, we don't know the money. We just know they got contract extensions, and that's that. But there's been this perception that the Cleveland Browns got to turn it around and everything got to be fixed this year or they're both are fired. And Jason Lloyd brought up a good point the other day. He said, do we really know that the house is truly burning down and where we think? And I think the further that we have gotten away from the end of the season, the more I'm starting to believe that unless there is like a catastrophic failure, like the Browns don't win no games and you don't see no development, I think both of these dudes is going to be back next year. I don't see a world to where um, Jimmy is firing them. I think if he was going to do that, he would have done so already. When it comes to Kevin Stefanski, for me, I think Kevin is going to be safe no matter what. People can agree or disagree with that, but I just think a lot of people believe that when it comes to Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski, you get more on the return on investment with him than you do AB. Now, when it comes to Andrew Berry, I had this thought, and once I make this comment, I'll kind of hand it off to you. Andrew Berry is the general manager, and he is the president of football operations. And for whatever reason, if this doesn't go according to plan, if the hit rate isn't as high as we want it to be, I think that instead of him being fired, I think that Andrew Berry should relinquish the title of general manager and hire someone and maintain his role as president of football operations. I think because how well he does managing the salary cap, I think how well he does managing the people inside the organization and just all the resources that he's helped create for the players and the other people inside that organization that's in the front office to have for both personal and professional. That's the type of guy that you want in your building. Now, with that being said, I think he has taken a step back as a talent evaluator. Maybe he need to revamp his scouting department. But in order for you to maintain job security, it might come a day to where he needs to delegate that role of general manager to a guy that he trusts and let that guy be the person, that evaluates the talent with him still having a final say. Another thought that I thought about along these lines is the GM that's in Minnesota now. If you look at the work he's done since he's been there, knowing that he was AB's assistant here at Cleveland, it's kind of one of those things like, damn, that was a talented guy that we let walk out the door. We got a comp pick for it, but I would much rather have the talent evaluator. And I can see a scenario to where he might give up that role as GM and just focus on the football president operation side of things.
Earl, that's a interesting way to look at it, right? Someone to give up their role out of the betterment of the organization because hey, I'm not doing a good job in this particular role. I'm better with salary cap and better with A, B, and C. So that's interesting. I do agree. I think as far as Stefanski, I think he's here. I think he's here. I think he's highly regarded around the league. Matter of fact, I know he's highly regarded around the league. I think when you look at what he's been able to do, I think he's 40 and 44 right now overall. Two coach of the years. It's going to if you let him go, it's going to be he'll be hired within a week. I think that's how highly regarded he is. Now, I think Andrew Berry's in a different boat. I think this is it for him. I do. I do. I think if he doesn't hit on a lot of these picks and they don't have a winning record or show a even if it's around, they say it's 8 and 9, say they under 500, but they don't have a lot of talent from this draft or other drafts that are developing, I think he's gone because of the talent that you brought in is not producing. The talent that you recruited, that you brought in, is not playing well. Look at the Super Bowl champions. We look at the Philadelphia Eagles. The talent they drafted played well.
Yeah, yeah,
Period.
yeah.
The talent that the Kansas City Chiefs drafted played well. Like the guys that they brought in and developed played well. And that's how you build a Super Bowl contending team. You have to draft well and hit on your draft. Then you bring in key free agents, right? But you have to hit on your draft picks. Your first round got to be a hit. Your second round got to be a hit. And this year, in my opinion, this draft is extremely important. If you get Travis Hunter, you better use him correctly, and he better be a hit. If you draft a tackle in the second round, or if you draft a running back, whoever the case may be, you better be a hit. Like it's a lot riding on it for AB, in my opinion, more than Stefanski. Stefanski, he proved himself at some point in his career with his stint with the Cleveland Browns. He's proven himself. Matter of fact, he proved himself at least twice, and he got some leeway because of the quarterback situation. Where Andrew Berry is like, nah, you really haven't hit. Stefanski's made it work with what he's had, but with Berry, in my opinion, I think the leash is very short, and I think if the team doesn't perform how it should, we'll have a new GM in there going into 2026.
So you think he's just going all together if this thing falls apart? You don't
If
think
this
it's a
thing's fall apart, if you're 3-14 again, if you're in a situation where you're a top five pick again because of your record, yes, I think AB is gone. Stefanski, I think, is safe for another year, at least one more year after this, going to 2026. But as far as this year alone, if it's a bad year, I think AB is out of there.
All right, let's see what some of the fans say, man. Let's read some comments, man. Might as well let before we get to the comments, the comment portion of this show is going to be brought to you by Amazon Fire TV. Did you know your Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire Stick TV 4K devices. No console required. Just grab your pair of controllers, subscribe or sign in an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included, and you're ready to play. Diving into hundreds of premium titles from EA Sports College Football 25 to Call of Duty Black Ops, which is one of my favorites. And as easily as you stream your favorite TV shows, it's gaming made simple and it's all on your Fire TV. For me, with the 4K streaming, I watch more than 1.5 million in TV episodes that I get to choose from my favorite subscribers such as Netflix, Prime Video, Disney Plus, Max, and much, much more. It hosts with no gaming interest experience, can share how Fire Stick TV provides with other great entertainment choices. So make sure y'all check that out. Head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. That's an Xbox Game Pass ultimately subscription and compatible controller required. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K, Fire TV Stick 4K Max, and Fire TV Cube. This is what some of the fans had to say about that last conversation. It says, William says, fire AB, period. Just fire him. Shout out to Coco Rex. So OB has no other options no other option than Hunter. Uh, I assume that means with the second overall pick. I think it's almost a guarantee that the Cleveland Browns is taking Travis Hunter with the number 2 overall pick. Russ Balance says that's what we need, a quarterback who can process or throw a pass. I think he was just being sarcastic with his comment. But listen, I don't think any of these quarterbacks are a finished product. And I think we've talked about that a lot. To say he can't throw a pass, I think that's kind of, I know what you mean, but that's kind of a little far fetched. I mean, he can actually throw the football. He has some accuracy issues, but he has a strong arm, and it's all about, will the processing pick up, and can the quarterback coaches work with him? I think any quarterback that's drafted in this class, or any quarterback that's drafted, period, you got to rely on the coaches and the people that's inside that organization to develop them. Since when did we get to a point to where we constantly looking at everything as it being a finished product, right? Like, you get to the league and you still developing. These is young men, what I'm saying, they're still developing until they grow me in bodies and still learning how to just to be a pro and just, live professionally, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, like, I just think, like, you got to give these people some grace, and you got to understand the situation a little bit more than that. What you think?
Yeah, you gotta give them time. You gotta give them, especially for the younger guys. The guys that have had success in the league as a rookie. When you look at Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix, they played tons of college football. Like, they played a lot of games, and they're older, right? Jaden Daniels was 24 this year as a rookie. Bo Nix was 24 this year as a rookie. So those guys, they had time to develop in college, and they went to the perfect systems with Cliff Kingsbury, and then with Sean Payton. Like, you have, like, I don't think people realize you have to, like, for a quarterback, for anybody, but for a quarterback especially to be successful, you have to be put in the right situation at the right time with the right coach. Like, that is so important. That's my only thing with Jalen Milrow. Is this the right situation at the right time to help him develop? If so, then he will be a starter, a solid starter for a long time. If not, he will be rushed. He will not be put in a good situation. It can look all bad. But what you're doing is when you draft Travis Hunter, and he's mainly receiver, which I think he will be. You got him on one side, which is Travis Hunter. You got Jerry Judy on the other side. You got Njoku, and then you draft, like he's mentioned. I think in your draft you had Caleb Johnson back there. You got Dylan Sampson back there. You got another back that can produce. I think that can do some good things for any quarterback.
All right, last comment we'll read before we moved on. I don't like how when people talk about Milrow, they always talk about his touchdown to turnover ratio and never mention the 20 rushing touchdowns. That ratio looks different with them added. Shout out to everybody who dropped the comments, man. It's time to move on. Talk some Cleveland Cavaliers basketball. But before we do, it's time to let you know that this portion of the show is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are almost here. In fact, they are here right now. And FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get in on the action. Right now, when you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you'll get $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Me, I love betting on FanDuel. I bet a lot with the Cleveland Cavaliers. And right now, they are giving you a 30% boost if you bet on the Cleveland Cavaliers throughout the playoffs. Don't miss out. Head to fanduel.com/UCSS and claim your $250 in bonus bets today. Cleveland Cavaliers, man, game 2 tonight against the Miami Heat. The Cavaliers opened up, according to FanDuel, as 12-point favors at home with the over-under set at 212. Before we talk about our players that we're looking forward to, or our key players for game 2, everybody that's watching right now, thank you. We got 157 people watching live. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop who your key player is in the comments, and we'll read those before we close out the show for game 2. And we're going to give y'all our 5-leg parlay for the Cleveland Cavaliers. What was your thoughts on game 1?
I think we came out hot. Love how we came out excited. Love how the arena was there. Like I said beforehand, the Miami Heat are well coached. So they're going to make adjustments. They're going to figure out how to make this game tough. They're going to figure out what to do, how to get different assignments, how to switch on defense. They're just going to figure out the right moves to make. I think the Cavs are way more talented, and they're well coached as well. So I think they just outlasted the Miami Heat, which don't have enough ammo. I love the energy I got from Donovan Mitchell. The way he's playing defense, the way he's diving on the floor. He's setting the example for how you want playoff basketball to be ranked, how you want it to be played, right? The way he's going after the ball, he's diving, he's intense, he's getting the crowd pumped into it. Of course, the points are going to be there. He is who he is. But I love what Ty Jerome did. I love the double double from Jared Allen, playing against Bam, and Bam is legit now. Like Bam is a good post player. Like Bam can play some ball. I just love what we got from our guys. I'm expecting us to win again tonight, and in dominant fashion as well. But it's going to be tough. Like Eric Spoelstra is the real deal, and that's what was scaring me about playing them week. I was playing them round one. Not that we can't beat them. We can't beat them in 4 or 5. It's just that test is going to be a real test for us mentally to figure out how they're going to make adjustments and things. But I think we'll be fine.
All right, and who is your player to focus on for tonight?
Ty Jerome again, man. That's your boy. That's your boy.
Touch a
Oh,
roll.
I almost went with DeAndre Hunter, because I think he'll need to step up in the area of points tonight. He didn't score last game, but he affected the game in many different ways in game one. And necessarily, honestly, he didn't necessarily need to score because Ty Jerome was so hot from the field and playing lights out. But to me, I picked Ty Jerome. I need him to have another performance like that again. And it's not even about game two. It's about maybe in the Eastern Conference Finals, building that confidence up. Because that was his first playoff game. So for him to get comfortable in the playoffs, to play well, continue to execute, continue to, when his number is called, to make the shots, to make the plays, to make the right pass, to get the rebound and push it, to me, that is huge. Not for this game too, but for as we go on in the playoffs, when we play Boston, when we play whoever we play, and that's the Knicks, whoever it is, I think that's going to be huge. So Ty Jerome is somebody I'm looking forward to continue to be consistent with his success.
My key player for game two is one Evan Mobley. You look at the stats from game one: 9 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 and 10 from the field. Simply put, that's just not enough. I need more from Evan Mobley. Evan didn't have a single rebound in the first half of that game, and for as well as Ty Jerome played, that's my boy. Kudos to him. But we have talked. Seems like time in and time out about if the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to reach their overall goal of winning an NBA championship, Evan Mobley needed to show up and be that dude. And coming into this playoff series, again, Evan Mobley, Evan Mobley, Evan Mobley. And I would have liked to seen him came out and assert himself in a dominant fashion a little bit more than what he did early on to set the tone. But he has the opportunity to come back tonight and do that. I just want to see a better game from Evan Mobley tonight. You know, 9 points again, 7 rebounds. That's not going to cut it. We talk about him being a unicorn. We talk about Evan developing into the best player overall on this team and how we need Evan to perform in order for us to reach our goal. It's playoff time, man. It's gut check time. And I need a little bit more from Evan Mobley than what I got from him before. Actually, no, we're going to do the parlay. Then we're going to read some of these comments in the last 2 minutes to get out of here. So real quick, the Cleveland Cavaliers 5-leg parlay presented to you by FanDuel. We're going to talk it out real quick. We're going to go Jared Allen with 8 rebounds. That's courtesy of Cecil Shorts. We are going to go Darius Garland with 3 3-pointers made. That's also courtesy of Cecil Shorts. I am going with an Evan Mobley double-double today. I just feel like Evan needs to play better. I think he will play better. So we're going to go Evan Mobley double-double with the third leg of that parlay. I'm going to go Donovan Mitchell 20 points, which is my lock on this entire thing. And then DeAndre Hunter to score 10 points coming off a game where he played 16 minutes, shot the ball 4 times, and scored 0 points. As we read some comments to get out of here, shout out to Coco, who was all in the comments. She said, how is Ty J not the player to focus on? Cecil said that was his focus player. I think this comment came before we actually started talking about it. They also said, get real. He has no chance. I think any team that's in the NBA has a chance, especially when you are coached by a championship winning coach. Cavs are Todd Jerome's 15. It says Evan Mobley game tonight. He will be super aggressive in the first quarter. I actually definitely agree with that. It says Ty is who he is. He reminds me of Ginobili from the Spurs back in the day. Hey, Manu Ginobili was that dude. He was literally that dude. We want to thank y'all, man, for tuning in to a live episode of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Again, man, the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show is brought to you by Living for We. Make sure you catch season 2 of Living for We. Keep your head up, hosted by Marlene Harris Taylor. and Maisha Watkins every other Tuesday, presented by Audio Stream Public Media. Each episode takes you deep into the real life struggles of gun violence in communities of color, stories that don't always make headlines. Make sure you subscribe wherever you get your podcast, man. Y'all know the vibes. Till next time, be great, spread love. Remember, being great come with a price. And spreading love is priceless. Peace. We out of here.